I would love for the impoverished and the marginalized communities to get what's needed, which is therapy. There's been a lot of historical and generational trauma that has been going on, that needs to be tapped into. They need to teach them coping skills, because life isn't going to get easier. You know, therapy is not to fix you. It's just to teach you how to cope with things that have happened and that are going to happen.
You say generational trauma, so I'm assuming trauma that goes from generation to generation.
Yeah, I mean, I look at my own story. You know, it wasn't until I understood the women in my family to where I can understand why I was in the situation that I was in. You know, my great-great-grandmother was born, you know, from a slave, you know, in the end of the slavery, you know, and her mother couldn't really be there for her. You know, she died at a young age. Her mother died at a young age. So she was raised without a mother because there were limited, you know, medical care. So my great-grandmother was raised by a woman who wasn't raised by a woman, by a mother. So she was missing a lot of gaps. My grandmother, she was raised in the Jim Crow era. You know, all the stuff that she had to go through then. And then my mother was raised by a woman who had all these kids and was a victim of domestic violence and lived through the Jim Crow era. And, you know, all of that was transferred to my mom. So there was a lot of, you know, stuff that happened in my family that my mom didn't get therapy for. You know, she was just a pressure cooker, you know, and plus when she had me, of course, all those things are let down. I was inherited with all these problems, you know, and I'm where it stops, you know, because now I love therapy. I love going to therapy. I love talking about my feelings. And this is very therapeutic for me to get it all out. You know, at first, when I first told my story, I cried the whole time. I mean, I couldn't get 2 words out without just breaking down. But now it doesn't have that much power on me anymore. It doesn't have that much hold on me anymore the more that I tell my story. So, yeah, once the same neighborhoods that I grew up in, the same Hispanic and, you know, Black families that are in these neighborhoods can get the therapy that they need, that will heal the family. They will understand their worth. They will understand that what they're dealing with every day, hearing helicopters and hearing sirens and seeing the violence in their neighborhoods isn't normal. And instead of suppressing it, you know, they can talk about it and they can get the help that they need. Then that will leave children less vulnerable to being in this type of situation, because they will have integrity, they will have self-respect, they will have knowledge and awareness of what can happen. Human trafficking needs to be taught, or sex education needs to change. You know, learning about Susie and her period and growing hair in certain places is not going to cut it in this day and age. You know, the media needs to change their idea of entertainment. You know, there's a huge story for me. There's a huge vision for what needs to change in order for this to stop. You know, sexualizing and objectifying women needs to stop.
What do you think specifically with the media?
Just the pressure. The pressure of being beautiful, the pressure of being what society deems as beautiful. That was hard for me, because I was living in the jungles. That's the name of the area. Because I was living in the jungles and going to school in Pacific Palisades, there was a huge identity crisis for me. Why am I Black and poor, and why are they white and rich? You know, why, when I look on TV, what's beautiful is blonde hair, blue eyes, and slim, where you know, I'm shapely. My nose is, my hair is kinky. My skin is brown. I didn't feel beautiful, you know. That needs to change, because it's even worse now with Instagram and the girls that are
Oh God,
Instagram
social
models.
media.
Yeah, you know.
I think Elena and I talked about that too. We're just like, it's a whole other thing now.
Yeah, I mean, just finding beauty is not what's necessarily on the outside. You have to find what's beautiful on the inside, because some of these women are very beautiful on the outside, but their personalities are terrible, you know. Or even understanding that what some women may, or girls may see as flaws, are actually what is beautiful for them. You know, it just needs to be less pressure.
Well, Tika, is there anything else that you want to get out there regarding this, that you think should be out there, that isn't spoken about enough?
Well, it's just, people just need to be more understanding. You know, people need to be more compassionate and empathetic. You know, especially with this, we have 2 more years in this whole political thing that's going on.
The administration.
You know, and it's a lot of ugliness that's coming out right now. It's always been there, but now it's more in your face now. More than ever, we need to look out for each other. More than now, we need to stop being selfish and stop thinking about, oh, my family is not dealing with that. You know, because if your family's not dealing with that right now, the generations to come might be dealing with the same things that you may look down on other people about. We need more people to be a part of this fight. You know, I was identified as a victim, and then I became a survivor. Now I'm a warrior. I need more warriors, and we need more people to think outside of the box. You know, these people that are my clients and my friends, you know, they need people to employ them. You know, we need people to be more empathetic and stop judging. We need people to really stop thinking of the world in this fairy tale and look at it for what it really is, and start to help each other.
Great. Well, I think that's a great place to end it. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I was telling Elena, like, out of all the issues that people are talking about right now, you know, some of them are debatable. There's different sides to it, whatever. I feel like this is one of those, like, there is nothing to debate. There's no other side. It's just an issue that needs to be talked about and go away as much as possible.
Definitely.
So this is just so illuminating and helpful. I thank you so much. It's such an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Of course.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching the episode. If you're interested in contributing to the conversation and supporting the show, there's 2 easy things you can do. 1, click subscribe, and 2, visit our Patreon page where you get exclusive access to the Exploring Minds community.